All right, Shalom. Shalom. I want to begin this lesson by giving all praise, honor, and glory to our power, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak Qudash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who taught us all this truth in the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Shaquat. And I'm back here with another lesson. Lord willing and satisfying to the hopeful elect. Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Barak. Katham, to you sincere Akyam, walk walking, and sincere shalom to you brothers. Slakia. And a sincere shalom to you brothers out there pushing this truth on the highways and the byways and to the YouTube lessons, man. Shalom to you all. Lord willing to be edifying and exhorting to the hopeful elect. All right, so without further ado, we're gonna get into it. Actually, matter of fact, give me one moment. Slakia for that. So yeah, as I was saying, we're going to be talking about Esau is trying to get away of. Esau is trying to get ahead of the RFID CHIP talking point. So yeah, he's trying to get ahead of that talking point. And to put it simply, it ain't gonna work, Esau. I mean, at the end of the day, even if you do propagandize this MOTB prophecy, it's still not going to stop it from coming to pass. The Lord has already preordained this thing to happen. All right, so before getting into that, I got some articles, but I want to start by, the brother Yaram Yabun Yasharallah, right, on Instagram. He uploaded breaking news: Cuba hit by nationwide blackout. So I thought it would be most suitable for me to bring that out today. Before getting into anything, I would like to note that this video will be conducted under the Fair Use Copyrights Act of 1976, where all public information in this video will be used for the purposes of education, teaching, criticism, and research. This video will not be monetized. I will say that again. This video will not be monetized. So, yeah, I wanted to play it. So, we'll do this.
Cuba's electrical grid has suffered a complete and total collapse. This is according to the country's power operator. It's the first nationwide blackout since the U.S. effectively shut off the flow of oil to Cuba.
So as you can see, things are indeed heating up over there, and expect blackouts to come to America very soon. EMP attacks, cyber attacks, all that stuff expected to come very soon. All right, and no canned goods will save you in that day. All right, no amount of bullets and guns will save you in that day. All right, the only thing that's going to save you in that day is Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. All right, and that day is going to lead into the mark of the beast, which is the RFID CHIP, which Esau is trying to get ahead of that prophecy by pushing propaganda. And the propaganda that he's pushing, well, we're going to get it from a few articles here. I'm going to go to Instagram first, and I'm going to go to the news break. All right, so give me a moment here. Shelves set to be empty. Forgive me. One more article. You got to bring these stuff out. We're blowing the trumpet, man. It says supermarket shelves set to, and this is from End Time Headlines. Supermarket shelves set to empty as and veggies, fruit and veggie growers warn they will have to halt production due to rising costs sparked by Iran war. The ripples of the war in Iran are hitting home, and the consequences are looking dire for our kitchen tables. Reports are surfacing that fruit and vegetable growers may be forced to halt production entirely as costs skyrocket beyond control. From soaring energy prices to the staggering 50% jump in red diesel cost in just 10 days. Farmers are being pushed to the brink, and it ain't many of them. Many are warning that if retailers don't step up, they will have no chance but to send staff home and end the season early. So, yeah, it's a lot going on, man. I want to see what these comments say. And a lot of people don't get, a lot of people don't understand how war works. I'm looking at these comments. You got comments saying, what produce do we get from Iran? Sand. Another one says, what on earth do American grown vegetables have to do with Iran? Another said, we don't get our produce from there. It's grown in California or somewhere else in the US. So people are not understanding. People are understanding that when war takes place, your prices increase because your government is using the taxpayers' money, a taxpayer's dollar, to fund the government. To fund the war, forgive me. And war is very expensive. So it causes local costs to go up, to increase. All right, so it shows that you all do not know how war is. All right, war. This is supposed to happen when war is going on. All right, inflation is supposed to happen. Actually, somebody put a scripture in the comments. I'm going to read it because we bring it out all the time. This is Revelation 6, verse 5 through 8. This is in the New King James Version. The third seal, scarcity on earth. New King James, not regular KJ, but new one. It says, when he opened the third seal, I heard the third living creature say, come and see. So I looked, and behold, a black horse, and he who sat on it had a pair of scales in his hand. And I heard a voice in the midst of the four living creatures saying, a quart of wheat for a denarius, and 3 quarts of barley for a denarius, and do not harm the oil and the wine, which basically goes into inflation. Things are going to be extremely inflated, but the wine, your goods, and your oils, where you cooking oils and the oils that you know that produce gas and all that stuff, all of it's still going to be available. You just ain't going to be able to buy it or be able to afford it. All right, but inflation is here, and this guy knows something clearly. See, it's, so who else? Let's see. Propaganda. Well, yeah, it's propaganda, but coming soon, 2nd Ezra 6 is going to take place, where your full storehouses shall be found empty, all right, and unsown. Right. So anyway, let's get to the point of the lesson, though. I just saw that on the brother stuff. So One more, Salakia. A Tennessee grandma in North Dakota was in jail for 6 months after AI recognition error. And speaking of which, speaking of this whole AI stuff, the mark of the beast, I just saw Jake today, this light skinned Jake. This nigga got a Neuralink in his his Baja. This dude, Jake threw, man. Jake threw. He excited about it. He's talking about how he can use a mice or a mouse. Sluggy, how you can use a keyboard mouse without actually touching it. Jake threw, man. All right, yeah, that's about it. So, mm, 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 mm. So it says here, Washington moves to ban forced micro CHIP implants in workers. Washington state lawmakers are considering a new bill to limit micro C-hipping in the workplace. House Bill 2303 would ban companies from requiring or pressuring employees to have a CHIP implanted under their skin. Where the fuck was this doing that C19 nonsense? But anyway, it's just a bunch of propaganda. They're trying to get ahead of the talking point, right? But at the end of the day, that's what they want to do is C-hip everybody. It says the brother said they are getting ahead of the propaganda before the MOTB is pushed. And I know he said that, but that's the facts. They're getting ahead of it, all right, before the MOTB is officially pushed out. Because you people are going to be caught off guard by it all. When all hell breaks loose, you're going to be caught off guard. When the chip is implemented and mandated, you're going to be caught off guard. When the nukes fly, you're going to be caught off guard. The Lord was not joking when he said he's going to come as a thief in the night. It was not a game. It really wasn't, right? So there you go. That's the article I wanted to get. Delete this out of here now. Another one says the same thing. It says Washington State wants to keep employers from micro C-hipping workers before anyone even gets the idea. So you see what's going on. All right. Went on to say it may not be a problem just yet, but this Washington State lawmaker is making sure your boss can't make you get a C-hip, a micro C-hip, unless, of course, you want to. See, it's all going to be voluntary. So it's going to move away from you have to have it, where you're forced to have it, but at the same time, you're going to have it. As Revelation 13 puts it, it's all going to be voluntary. You're going to have a choice. All right, take it or don't. All right, Revelation 3 and 10. All right. It's a trial period, a testing period. It says after reading about how Wisconsin became the first state in the country to pass a similar law in 2006, Washington Rep. Breonna Thomas introduced a bill last month to prevent any future employer from requiring its workers to get C-hipped for the job, which it's not going to hold, right? It's like I said, like we were saying, it's just getting ahead of the propaganda. What's propaganda? Shit. It's like you. So this is the same thing, but I want to read down. It says it may not be a problem just yet. Um, let's go down. Yeah, I just read that. I just read that. Hmm. Let me go to another article. So in another article, it says several states have explicitly banned micro C hipping, but the practice has become more common, with some U.S. workers choosing to get C hipped. Micro C hips are injected under the skin, usually between the thumb and forefinger, and can make identification and contactless payments easier. As of 2024, more than 50,000 people worldwide have been micro C hip, according to the Carnegie Council for Ethics and International Affairs, and that's only the documented ones. More people have it, a lot more. The new law, which comes into effect in June, bans employers from asking or requiring workers to undergo the procedure. Micro C hipping could potentially be used as a means to control or monitor employee behavior, Washington Gov. Bob Ferguson said while signing the legislation into law. While micro C hipping hasn't become widespread in the U.S., lawmakers said the rule is a precautionary measure. We don't want to have to try to clean up an impossible mess after it's too late, says State Representative Breonna Thomas, who sponsored the bill. So we are getting ahead of the problem. Mm. The Food and Drug Administration, all right, the FDA, approved the use of human micro C hips in '04 for medical reasons such as for Alzheimer's patients. It says most read in the U.S. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, the procedure became a trend in Sweden. And, all of Sweden is micro C hip. All them niggas got the mark of the beast. Where thousands of workers were C hip to access restricted office space, more digital tickets, store digital tickets, and hold emergency contact information. Some Americans have chosen to be C hip by their employer. Three Square Market, a self-service vending company headquartered in Wisconsin, micro C hip dozens of workers in 2017. The company even hosted a CHIP party for implantation. Forced micro C hipping has been banned in 12 other states: Arkansas, California, Missouri, Montana, Nevada, New Hampshire, North Dakota, Oklahoma, Utah, Wisconsin, Indiana, Alabama, and Mississippi. Micro C hipping laws are most restrictive in Nevada, which not only bans forced micro C hipping, but prevents people from voluntarily receiving them. C hipping remains legal in 37 other states, and Washington, D.C., and legislation to ban involuntary C hipping was even shot down in one state. A law restricting micro C hipping failed to pass in Wyoming for not appropriately addressing micro C hipping. And it just goes further and further down the rabbit hole. It was one more paragraph. I'll read it. Washington's law will fine businesses a minimum of $10,000 for a first offense and $20,000 for every infraction after. So Shit. Salakia. We through. Sorry. Forgive me. But yeah, you see the point. So those are two articles I wanted to bring out concerning that. Um, so let's get into some precepts. All right. So I want to go to First Thessalonians, all right, chapter 5 and verse 3. All right. So give me a moment here. All right. So this is the book of First Thessalonians, chapter 5, and we'll start at verse 1. All right. The day of the Lord. It says, "But of the times and the seasons, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you. For yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night." So the day of the Lord, as the scriptures say all the time, is going to come as a thief in the night. For when they shall say peace and safety, and that's what these people are saying. Oh, don't worry. We're going to make sure your jobs cannot force you to get a micro C-hip implanted inside of you. Don't worry, everybody. This is peace and safety. Bringing some type of comfort to these people concerning this MOTB talk. Then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. So these things are going to come upon you people because you trusted in Egypt. All right, as Isaiah, the 31st chapter, told you not to do, or else you will be destroyed. It says, "But ye brethren are not in darkness," and we're not in darkness. We know what it is. We know they're just trying to get ahead of the curve with propaganda. All right, it says that day should overtake you as a thief, and it won't overtake us as a thief, but it will overtake the 2/3 of our people and the heathen as a thief in the night. All right, but we are sober and we are not sleeping. All right, we are sober and we're watching because we are the watchmen of Israel. You understand? So with that, I want to slide to Psalm the 51st chapter. Psalm 55 and 20. "He hath put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him. He hath broken his covenant. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords." All right, so listen, this is all it's talking about Esau all day. He's a serpent, meaning a dragon. He's cunning, very deceptive and cunning, wise, all that. Right, so he talks and tells you a good game. I like that horn speaking great things in the book of Daniel 7. He talks a good game, a great game, an amazing game. He spit game to Eve, and just you know what happened. She folded. Right, he talks an amazing game. Right, words smoother than butter. But at the end of the day, behind him, he's of war. All right, he has war in his heart. Outwardly, it seems like he's being genuine. All right, he's genuinely caring about you, but truly he wants war. And at the end of the day, this devil wants to get everybody micro C-hipped so he can have full control, so he can be as the Lord, the Most High. Right? It says his words were softer than oil, yeah, with their drawn sword. So yeah, he talking you a good game, spitting game to you, it sound nice, but yeah, he got a sword behind his back, ready to pull it out and stab you in the back. Right? So don't let this don't let this deceive you, brothers and sisters, man. I'm talking about you newcomers. Don't let this, harm your walk in this faith, because trust me, this is all them getting ahead of the propaganda. Esau doing whatever he can to keep power, because remember, power is in his secrecy. He no longer has much secrecy at all. So that means he has no power really, right? So he's doing anything to hold on to that power before it's completely stripped of him, right? So we're going to go to Habakkuk chapter 2, point being at 3, but let's get this. So this is the book of Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 1. I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower, and will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I am reproved. All right, so we are watching. We're sitting on our tower and we're watching. And what does a watchman do? He warns. He warns of coming danger. And at the end of the day, the microchip will be mandated at a certain point in time to bring order out of the chaos, to bring in this NWO, this new system, right? As he crashes the old system. Or in order to set up a new system, you have to crash the old one. All right, it says, and the Lord answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run there readeth it. For the vision is yet for an appointed time. So the Lord's already set this vision for when it shall come to pass. But at the end, which we're here, it shall speak, and it's speaking and not lie. Somebody got to sit here and tell you, oh, I'm not about to do this, man. I got to listen, man. He probably going to do it. He probably was thinking about doing it. He's going to do it, right? It's to throw you off, all right, the trail. Knock you off his trail. It says, the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. So this thing is not going to tarry very soon. And it's going to come to pass, and it won't tarry. You understand? It won't slow, it won't slack. All right, it says, behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith. All right, the just is going to live by faith. And that's the facts. All right, that's the point. So he gets into a lot more. So, Habakkuk 2 is a very heavy chapter. So I want to go to Revelation 12 and 12, and then we're going to move on to the next point. So this is Revelation chapter 12 and verse 12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. For the devil, talking about the Edomites mainly being the elites, all right, but he's going to come down onto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. So this devil knows that he has a short time. He knows he only has a moment left before he can fully implement his regime, what he wants to implement on earth, how he wants earth to operate. He knows he doesn't have much time as he sees prophecy coming to pass. The elites understand prophecy. They know prophecy and they understand it, and they know who we are. They know we the true prophets of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. They knew that this was going to happen, but they probably didn't think it was going to happen right now when it did. But it did. All right. They probably thought they had a lot more time. Now they realize and they don't have much time at all. All right, and to be honest, they meant to get this pushed out 26 years ago. They're 26 years late. They're running late because this was something they wanted to have implemented already in the year 2000. So you're 26 years late, right? So they know they are out of time. Right, so that's why he's going to come down having great wrath, and that wrath is going to befall upon his own people, 2/3 of our people, and even some of us that reside in this truth. Right, the second Ezra 16 say even spoiling and destroying those who fear the Lord. You understand? But hey, it's all for tribulation's sake, test sake, trial sake. At the end of the day, just to prove ourselves to Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, in that instant. So anyway, this devil gonna come down with the smackdown, like Isaiah 59:19 states. The enemy is gonna come in like a flood, which is Esau, but the Lord gonna lift up a standard against him, which is spiritual power, divine intervention, and that's gonna come to pass. And you have to believe that. All right, we have to believe that. Shit. Don't try this at home, shit. But anyway, you have to really believe that at the end of the day. At the end of the day, forgive me. But yeah. So I want to go into another article here about earthquakes because it's a lot of earthquakes going on right about now, man. It's a lot, man. You know, record breaking over the past few years, right? That's all prophecy. At the end of the day, this is all prophecy. Prophecy is just jumping off the pages at us right about now. Before I get there, I want to read this. Indian Navy warships deployed near Persian Gulf on standby to assist merchant vessels. Report. Several Indian Navy warships have been deployed near the Persian Gulf and remain on standby to assist merchant vessels coming toward India. Sources confirmed on Sunday a report by news agency ANI citing sources that the Indian Navy warships are on standby to provide assistance or help required by merchant vessels. Earlier on Saturday, two Indian flagged vessels carrying liquefied petroleum gas (LPG) crossed the Strait of Hormuz after being allowed to transit by Iranian authorities. The two tankers, blah 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 blah, are expected to reach their destinations in the next few days. But then it says also read Trump and Iran hardened stance. Both reject mediation efforts for ceasefire talks. It says the Union Ports Shipping and Waterways Ministry provided an update on the maritime situation in the Persian Gulf region and the steps being taken to ensure the safety of Indian seafarers and vessels. As per the ministry, 24 Indian flagged vessels with 668 Indian seafarers are operating in the Persian Gulf. Also read, Iranian leader says Ukraine is now a legitimate target over alleged drone support for Israel. Yeah, and Ukraine already getting smacked up. What the fuck they doing? They need support. It says anyway, so yeah, that's about it. That's what I want to get. But let's get the article that that's needed. It says earthquake measuring 5.5 jolts Turkey. And you remember, if you don't remember, you forgot about 2 to 3 years ago when Turkey had that major earthquake that killed hella people. It's, lucky again. They killed hella people. That shit was crazy. right? So they had another earthquake. No casualties have been reported so far, though. It says, forgive me, Salakia. It says an earthquake measuring 5.5 on the Richter scale struck central Turkey on Friday. The tremor sent residents rushing um, into the streets, but no damage has been reported so far, according to the Disaster and Emergency Management Agency. The quake struck near the town of Niksar in Tokat province. Oh, shit. Salakia, man. Please forgive me, the Al Shah. It says the quake struck, I read that. It says at a depth of 6.4 kilometers, 4 miles at 3:35 a.m. Many residents were scared to go inside their houses despite the cold outside, keeping in mind the 2023 earthquake. So that's what it was, 2023. So 3 years ago, the Wadi Al Bashmir shot. In 2023, an earthquake measuring 7.8 had hit the country, causing large-scale devastation. The quake killed 53,000 people. I believe it was more. But that's still diabolical. Lord got down that day. As southern and southeastern provinces were the hardest hit, while 6,000 people were killed in the northern parts of neighboring Syria. And it says this is the developing story. So eventually they're going to add more to the story. But that's all it has so far. Point being, you got earthquakes going on now. It's just been going on for the past, it's been heightening over these previous years. And the Lord has, given us the internet so we can measure these things and actually document it. And it could be, people can report on these earthquakes taking place, right? Also, we can show you that prophecy is going on. In the ancient world, wasn't no fucking millions of earthquakes going on every year and shit. All these earthquakes going on. There's so many fucking earthquakes. Thousands of earthquakes every damn year. It wasn't like that in the ancient world. So that shows you we're really at the end, according to prophecy. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 9, and I'll start at verse 1. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before. So we are currently measuring the times diligently. This is us diligently measuring. We're showing you what's happening in these news sources. We're showing you what's happening in the world, and we're connecting reality with prophecy. We're filtering reality through prophecy. All right, as the scriptures say in Revelation, the testimony of Yahushua is the spirit of prophecy. Well, we have to be in the spirit of prophecy then in order to be a testimony of Yahushua. All right, and these are the things that the Lord has told us aforetime. All right, it says, then shalt thou understand. So we understand because we're seeing the things that the Lord has told us before. And it says that it is the very same time when the highest will begin to visit the world which he made, and the Lord is visiting. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai is visiting the world which he made. He's visiting, man. Through what? Tornadoes, earthquakes, tsunamis, hurricanes, all these different things, man. The Lord is visiting this place indeed. Right? Says in the 3rd verse, therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, and we're seeing both on a mass scale. We're seeing both earthquakes and uproars of all these people. We just was talking about what's happening over in the Middle East right now. We were just talking about this. We went to a few articles concerning this, man. Uproars, baby. You got people in America. It's uproars. It's only going to get worse from here, Lord willing, of course. It says, then thou shalt well understand that the Most High spake of those things which, spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. And what did the Lord say in the book of Isaiah? He declares the end from the beginning, and at the end his counsel shall stand. And we're seeing that right now. We're seeing that today. All right, so we understand. We're seeing these earthquakes. We're seeing these uproars of the people. We're seeing wars and rumors of wars, and now we understand. Hey, this is what the Lord was talking about aforetime, as Romans 15:4 says, things written aforetime were written for our learning, right? So when you go on, it says, "For like as all that is made in the world had the beginning and an end, the end and the end is manifest." So Esau's end is being manifest right now. All right. And the scriptures say in the book of Ecclesiastes, better is the end of a thing. I believe it's in Ecclesiastes 7. Better is the end of a thing than the beginning of it. All right. Slakia. Better is the beginning of it. No, Salakia, I was right. Better is the end of a thing than the beginning. All right. And this is the end of Esau's world, which is better for us. But it's the beginning of Esau's hell he's about to catch. And then, yeah. So it'll suck for him. Matter of fact, let's get that Ecclesiastes, what I was talking about. Make sure I didn't butcher that. No, I was right. Ecclesiastes 7:8, better is the end of a thing than the beginning thereof, and the patient in spirit is better than the proud in spirit. So there you go. Esau's end is here, and that's great for us. 2 Ezra 6:9, for Esau's end of the world. All right, so this is great for us, terrible for him, because what? And Jacob is the beginning of it that falleth, which is still good for us, because the end of Esau's world leads to our kingdom, our eternal rule. But Esau's end, it leads to the beginning of his everlasting hell he's about to catch. All right, not the spiritual realm. Not no spiritual place called hell. It's in the middle of the earth. I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about this condition he's about to be placed under. He's about to get his ass whooped for the rest of his existence until he's burnt up in a pit fire. All right, so it's a beautiful time that we're living in, indeed. Okay, so let me see if we're gonna go on. Even so, verse 6, even so the times also of the highest have plain beginnings and wonders and powerful works and endings and effects and signs, right? And yeah, there we go. That's the point I wanted to get. All right, so I want to jump to the book of Matthew, chapter 24 here. So bear with me a moment. Jump to Matthew 24. We're going to go to verse 7. So the signs of Hamashiach return. It says, we'll start at verse 1. Matthew 24:1. And Yahushua went out and departed from the temple, and his disciples came to him for to shew him the buildings of the temple. And Yahushua said unto them, see ye not all these things? Verily I say unto you, there shall not be left one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down. Meaning all these prophecies will indeed come to pass. It says, and he sat upon the Mount of Olives, and the disciples came unto him privately, saying, tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming and the end of the world? So whatever you're about to hear after this is the Lord telling his disciples what's going to be the sign of his return. These are the signs that Yahushua is almost here and that he's about to return and crack the clouds. And these are the signs that show that this is the end of the world, not the literal end of the earth, because the scripture saying in Ecclesiastes 1, the earth will dwell forever. All right. There's no end to the earth. But when you go into that earth, it's talking about an age, a rulership, like that 2 Ezra 6:9. Esau is the end of the world. Jacob is the beginning of it that follows. It's the end of the first earth age, which was the rule of the heathens. All right, the time of the heathens, as it says in Luke 21:24, we were sent away into captivity, and we will be in captivity until the time of the Gentiles be fulfilled. So until these heathens' rulerships, all of it is done, we're going to be here. All right, but when it's fulfilled, that's us entering into the new earth age, which is in the kingdom. All right, like Apostle John saw in the Isle of Patmos, a new heaven and a new earth, not literally, but it's talking about a new rulership, the end of the heathens' rule. Now we're in the age of the eternal rule of the Israelites, and this age ain't never gonna end, baby. All right. So I want to jump down to verse 7. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines, and there is, and there will be more coming, and pestilences, and there is, and there will be more coming, and earthquakes in diverse places. All these are the beginning of sorrow. So all we are in is the birth pains. As 2nd Ezra 16 states, we're just in the birth pains. All right, we ain't even saw nothing yet. But as you see, there's many earthquakes going on. It's in diverse places. Earthquakes are going on in diverse places. This is showing that this is the beginning of sorrows. These are the birth pains. All right. And now that we got scriptures concerning that, I want to show you this. Let me do this. Do this. Says as of early 2026, at least 54 earthquakes. Let me show you. Oh, I ain't sharing my screen. As of early 2026, from Copilot Search, the AI, at least 54 earthquakes of magnitude 5.5 or higher have been recorded worldwide, with the strongest receiving magnitude 6.5 in Indonesia. All right. So apparently there's been 54 earthquakes already. This is from early 2026. So yeah, we're still in early 2026, but this is talking about from January. All right, January and things of that sort. So this is very early. And I want to look up how many earthquakes took place in 2025. Actually, let's see. Let's read that because we're still in the beginning of 2026. It says in 2025, approximately 480,000 earthquakes occurred worldwide, with 16 major events, magnitude 7 or higher, causing around 8,000 fatalities. This is crazy work, man. What did the scriptures say? All right. And earthquakes in diverse places. That's what you're seeing when you go into that word diverse. Let's see what it say. See what it says. Kata, and it means throughout, according to, along. Let's see. Look at that. By any means, beyond, out of measure. So it's unmeasurable, truly. It's a lot. Let me see. It's not really giving me too much to work with, man. More than one, several, numerous, many, copious, abundant. So there you go. That gave me more than what the fuck the blue letter was giving me. It's a lot, yeah. There you go. And earthquakes in diverse places. Let's go look at these stats again. Look at that, man. Let's show 2024. This is cap. This is cap. But you did have that significant earthquake that happened in Turkey. It was more than that. But point is that 2025, man, that 2025 something else though. Approximately 480,000 worldwide, with 16 being 7 or higher. And you even had one that was 8.8 magnitude in Kamchatka, all right, or Kamchatka. I don't know how you say that. Say the first magnitude 8 plus event since 2021. So what was that event? What was that magnitude for the Turkey one? Hold on. Oh, it was 7.8. So yeah, that sounds about right. Shit. Yeah, so it's a lot going on, man. Just showing you that prophecy is indeed coming to pass. Prophecy is jumping off the screen, just into our faces. Prophecy just bow, right off the screen. And you people, you need to pay attention. Lock in, or you're gonna be left behind when these terrible times come, without a hedge of protection. All right. So I do hope and pray that this was edifying to the elect. I want to close this lesson by giving all praises, honor, and glory to our power, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rachak, Warash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, who have taught us all this truth in the spirit and power of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. And until next time, Abba Ball, Kwam Yasharallah, Gadol Abadium, Lababal Gadol, Yahweh Mahor, Wahabatham. And until next time, I would like to say to you all, Shalom.